Hey everyone, welcome to our top 10 list. Here's my top 10 favorite movies of the 1950s. Yes, from 1950 to 1959. As you saw all my favorite videos of my favorite movies of each decade, all leading up to my favorite movies of all time, this is now the 1950s turn. So here we go. Here's my top 10 favorite movies of the 1950s. And for our top 10 list, you gotta have your honorable mentions. My honorable mentions for my favorite movies of the 1950s are Sabrina, Forbidden Planet, All About Eve, An American in Paris, Strangers on a Train, Sunset Boulevard, The Seventh Seal, Rio Bravo, and The Bridge on the River Kwai. All great movies. Just gonna make the top 10 list. But my top 10 was my number 10. My number 10 is The Seven Samurai. Yes, The Seven Samurai. Anytime Akira does a movie, it's always amazing, visually stunning, and groundbreaking. And this is his most groundbreaking film. This is one of my favorite foreign films of all time. I love Japanese films. I love films about samurai. I even love the remake, Magnificent Seven, even though it's a Western. I heard they're remaking that. We'll see. But Seven Samurai started it all, and it's fantastic. The cinematography, the visuals, the shots, the editing, the pacing, everything about this movie is amazing. It's 3 hours of awesomeness, and if you're a foreign movie lover, you will adore this movie, and I adore it myself. It's so good, and it's my 10th favorite movie of the 1950s. Coming number 9 is North by Northwest. Yes, North by Northwest. This is Alfred Hitchcock, 1959. This stars Cary Grant, Eva Marie Saint, and James Mason, and this movie is incredible. This is a great action-adventure movie, and I love that Hitchcock did an action-adventure movie. It's so good, it's so fun. This is probably the most fun Hitchcock movie, and you can't say it a lot, because Hitchcock is the master of suspense. He's the master of thrills. So when you're watching an action movie, you're having fun with it, and you're laughing, you're having a good time, it's all lighthearted and everything. You got Cary Grant being Rico Suave. It's just awesome, and it's interesting and fresh. It's so different. I know Hitchcock, I think he was forced to do this movie because he did Vertigo in 1958, and it was so controversial, and the people didn't like it, so they wanted him to do like a studio movie, a movie like James Bond, like an action movie that everyone will love. So he did North by Northwest, and honestly, even if the studios made him did this movie, I love this movie. I have so much fun with it. I love Cary Grant in this movie. He probably should have won an Oscar for this movie. He's so good. His chemistry with Eva Marie Saint is really great. The story is very thrilling. The ending action scene in this movie is freaking iconic as shit. It's got one of the best scores in any Hitchcock movie. Not beating Psycho, but the score in North by Northwest is probably the second best score in any Hitchcock movie. The score is just awesome. And it's like 2 hours and something minutes, and the time just flies by because it's so well paced, so well acted, and it's just a lot of fun. This is the most funnest Hitchcock movie, and it's my 9th favorite movie of the 1950s. Coming number 8 is On the Waterfront, a great movie about fighting and boxing and the labor union, and Marlon Brando at his best. He is fantastic in this movie. He is so good. Mary Saint is also in this movie. She's so good in this movie. This is a very compelling and riveting watch. This is probably one of Marlon Brando's best performances. Yes, him as Vito Corleone in Godfather is probably his most iconic performance, and a lot of people love him as Stanley in After Kind of Desire. Hey, Stella! But him in On the Waterfront is just so compelling. I love Marlon Brando's performance in this movie. This is probably my favorite performance by Marlon Brando. Is it my favorite movie? No. Godfather is his best movie. That movie's fucking amazing. That is a powerhouse film, but On the Waterfront is such a gem of a film. And a lot of people in my generation probably have never heard of this movie, but most people in their 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s, they all know what On the Waterfront is, and they all know it's amazing. This movie is fantastic. And if you are my age and you have heard of this movie, good job, you're a film lover, and this movie is fantastic. It's so well directed, it's so well acted, it's so well executed, so well structured, and the performances by everyone is so good, particularly Marlon Brando, and it totally deserved to win Best Picture that year, and I'm glad it did, and it's my 8th favorite movie of the 1950s. So yeah, On the Waterfront, awesome. Coming number 7 is Ben-Hur. Yes, Ben-Hur. William Wyler does a great job with a lot of his films. This is his masterpiece. Ben-Hur, winner of 11 Academy Awards. Only Ben-Hur, Titanic, and Lord of the Rings: Return of the King have ever won 11 Academy Awards at the Oscars. And Ben-Hur really does deserve it. This movie is so groundbreaking. The sheer scope and size of Ben-Hur is fantastic. Charlton Heston's performance as Judah Ben-Hur is phenomenal. He totally deserves his Oscar. It's so good. It's one of his best performances. It's right there with Ten Commandments and Planet of the Apes. He's amazing in this movie. Everyone is amazing in this movie. Jack Hawkins is in this movie. He's fantastic. The cinematography is amazing. The production design is amazing. The chariot racing scene is so fucking iconic and just so awesome. The scene with Jesus Christ is so haunting. Just, man, it sticks with you, that scene. It's just so good. It's such a riveting and compelling and sometimes unsettling story, but it's just so good. This is a movie everyone has to watch. Not just film lovers and religious lovers, but this is a film everyone should watch. It's just so beautifully done and beautifully crafted, and it's so amazing. It totally deserved its 11 Academy Awards, and of course it makes the number 7 spot on this list. Coming number 6 is Vertigo. Yes, Hitchcock again. I love Vertigo. I just said this movie was controversial because it was. It became almost like a cult classic. This movie was always good, but people back in the day, they didn't like this kind of movie because it was so different and strange and bizarre. People weren't into that. People liked the safe route. That's why Citizen Kane wasn't well liked when it first came out, even though it did win original screenplay at the Oscars. But this movie wasn't really liked when it first came out. Same with Psycho and stuff. I'm glad people started appreciating it because it's so well done. This movie's fantastic. The movie gives you vertigo. When Jimmy Stewart is on these rooftops and he's looking down, you feel the vertigo with him. It is so fucking well done. The shots in this movie are fantastic. The tone of this movie is brilliant. Kim Novak is fucking amazing. And her chemistry with Jimmy Stewart is so well done. The ending of this movie is just, whoa. I won't spoil the ending, but damn, one of the best Hitchcock endings. It's so good. Everyone knows Vertigo is good, so I don't need to explain why Vertigo is good, because everyone knows Vertigo is a masterpiece, and of course it had to make this list. Coming number 5 is Singing in the Rain. Yes, singing in the rain, what a glorious day for singing in the rain. And good morning, it's fun to stay up like good morning to you. Gene Kelly did a fantastic job. Gene Kelly stars in this movie and he directed this movie. Gene Kelly is like the master of tap dancing. He's just a brilliant dancer. And anytime you have him in a musical, you know he's going to give an amazing performance, a hell of a good performance. He's a great dancer and a great singer. He's just a great entertainer, and I love watching him on screen, and he steals this entire movie. He's amazing in this movie. It's so good. I love Singing in the Rain. It's one of the greatest musicals of all time. It's so well done. And it's also a great movie about filmmaking, and it's about the silent film era, bringing it to talkies, and some of these actresses they're not fit to talk in movies because they look good, but they don't sound good, and it's a very good movie. It's got a great romantic story, and it's got a lot of great comedy. It's a very funny movie, and it's also a very catchy, toe-tapping, fun film, and Singing in the Rain is one of the greatest musicals of all time. I love this movie. I've watched this movie ever since I've been a kid, and I still love it to this day. I can watch this over and over again and never get sick of it because it's Singing in the Rain. It's awesome. Coming number 4 is 12 Angry Men. This movie is just fucking amazing. Yes, I love Henry Fonda in this movie. He's so good, and the entire cast of this movie is really good. And a lot of pretty no-named actors in this movie, and it's so good. It's about these 12 jury members, and they're all discussing a case, if this boy killed someone or not. And the way they talk about it is just brilliant and just so realistic and just so interesting. That dialogue in this movie is just riveting and smart and clever, and just, it keeps you invested and interested from start to finish of the film. You just want to know what the hell's happening. You want to know if this man is guilty or not. You want to know if this jury is going to convict them. And at first they do want to convict him because of the color of his skin. When Henry Fonda starts pleading his case, you kind of believe him more, and you do believe this kid is innocent. And the way they have to convince each jury member that he is innocent, it's just so well done. The pacing is fantastic. The direction is fantastic. The writing is absolutely amazing. Again, I love dialogue movies. Give me some dialogue movies. Hard on. Just awesome. Good Night and Good Luck is a prime example of a good dialogue movie. The Before trilogy is a great dialogue movie. And 12 Angry Men is a great classic dialogue movie. It's so good. If you love dialogue in movies, this is like porn to you. You'll love it. And, of course, I said I like dialogue movies, so, of course, I love 12 Angry Men. It is a cinematic masterpiece. Coming number 3 is High Noon. Yes, Gary Cooper is amazing. Totally deserved his Oscar. He's fantastic in this movie. I love this movie. You know, one thing I do like about this movie is not too long. It's only like an 88-minute film. And it doesn't need to be too long. It doesn't need to be this grand scope of a movie, this big movie. It's kind of small scaled, and that's why I like it. It's a very small story, and it's brilliant. It's so well done. The performances are so good. The action scenes are really well done. The direction is really well done. The pacing is well done. The editing is well done. The costumes look great. The characters are very interesting, very compelling characters, and Gary Cooper just steals this movie. He's so good. I love Gary Cooper, and anytime he plays a cowboy, it's like John Wayne playing a cowboy. It's just awesome. And I really like this movie. I know a lot of these movies I've had a younger generation hasn't seen High Noon, and they probably think, oh, a black and white cowboy movie, that sounds lame. This movie is not lame. This movie is incredible. As soon as you give this movie a watch, and that opening song, just a beautiful song. As soon as that comes on, you get to see these cowboys and everything, you'll be invested in this movie. You will be so invested, so entertained, and the 88 minutes will just flop by like that. This movie is brilliant. This is one of the best westerns I have ever watched, and that's saying lots. I love westerns, and there's a lot of great ones out there. High Noon is one of the best, and of course, it's my third favorite movie of the 50s. This movie is amazing. Come number 2 is The Night of the Hunter. Yes, leaning on the everlasting light. Robert Mitchum did an amazing job. This movie just freaking terrified me. I saw this movie at a pretty older age, in my late teens, 17 or something. And this movie is unsettling as shit, but it's just so brilliantly done. I love this movie, The Night of the Hunter. It's so incredible. I love it. It's just a simple story about a guy who just doesn't like women. He's a very religious, nutty guy, and when he finds out about this guy who stole money and he actually put it in his daughter's doll, so he marries the wife and tries to get the money off the girl and her doll, and it's just fucking messed up. And I don't want to spoil what happens next, but a lot of shit happens in like the beginning of this movie. This movie does not bore you. From start to finish, you're just like, holy shit, a lot of shit's happening. Like, murders happen, main characters are being killed off, kids are running away on boats and going to orphanages. There's old ladies with shotguns singing Everlasting Light. That's not the name of the song, but still, that's why I call it. But this movie's so good. It's got a gripping ending, an amazing villain, one of the best villains in a horror movie you will see. This guy's twisted as shit, and this movie just keeps you on the edge of your seat, and if you love classic horror movies like Psycho and stuff, you will adore this movie. Night of the Hunter is one of the best horror thrillers you will watch. It is psychological, dark, twisted, gritty, and amazing. Love this movie. Night of the Hunter, amazing. So I have to say, other than leaning on the everlasting light. And my number 1 favorite movie of the 1950s is Rear Window. Yes, this is my favorite Hitchcock movie of all time. I love Rear Window. Everything about this movie is amazing. Jimmy Stewart's performance is amazing. Grace Kelly's performance is amazing. The way the opening shot to this movie is just this long tracking shot about all these people in these buildings, and it tells you everything you need to know about the story and everything you need to know about this lead character, and it's just so brilliant, so amazing. The shots in this movie are fantastic. The thrills in this movie are fantastic. All these characters, you care about these characters. Even the villain in this movie, you're so invested in him. He doesn't even say a line of dialogue barely in the movie. He doesn't speak until the ending of the movie, and you're so interested in this character just because the way the story is told and the way it's directed. Hitchcock did an amazing job with this movie. He directed so well. If you could spot the Hitchcock cameo in this movie, it's very funny, and I love this movie. Jimmy Stewart is amazing in this movie. Everything about this movie is amazing. It's so thrilling. It's so edgy. Beautifully written, beautifully structuralized, and I love everything about it. There's a flaw in this movie. If you point out a flaw in the comment section below, I will seriously cry myself to sleep, because I love this movie. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. So, of course, it was my number 1 favorite movie of the 1950s. So yeah, that was my top 10 favorite movies of the 1950s. So yeah, in the comment section below, please tell me, did you agree with this list? If not, give me all your top 10 favorite movies of the 1950s. Comment below and let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like and subscribe to this channel and join the dark side.